Beijing, 1630. The executioner positions his blade against the chest of General Yuan Changhuan. His 7-year-old son stands on the criminal family platform, forced by imperial law to count each cut aloud. 2418. The boy announces, his voice no longer shaking the way it did yesterday. After Yuan dies, this child will become a slave. His children will be slaves. Their children will be slaves. This hereditary slavery will last 9 generations, a punishment that reaches forward through time to destroy lives not yet born. Yuan's daughter is somewhere in the crowd, pretending she doesn't know him, pretending she ain't the daughter of the man being slowly carved into medicine. Tomorrow she will be sold to a military brothel in Mongolia. Yuan sees her through the haze of his agony. He mouths a single word, "Run." She doesn't run. In 1630 China, there is nowhere for a general's daughter to hide from imperial justice. But here is what transforms this execution from merely horrific into something that defies comprehension. Yuan Changhuan is completely innocent. The emperor knows he is innocent. The crowd suspects he is innocent. Yuan saved Beijing from Manchu invasion, a genuine hero who stood between the capital and destruction. The enemies he defeated spread lies that he was secretly working with them, a traitor disguised as a savior. The emperor believed these lies, or perhaps found them convenient. Now the hero of Beijing is being slowly transformed into medicine for the people he saved, dying in the shadow of the walls he defended. Linqi is just one of 7 systematic torture and execution methods that ancient China perfected over 3,000 years. This wasn't random cruelty born of anger or chaos. This was institutionalized, bureaucratized, and perfected agony. They turned death into science. They calculated exact angles for maximum pain. They created drugs to keep victims conscious longer, denying them the mercy of unconsciousness. They built an entire economy around selling the flesh of the condemned, turning execution into commerce. What separated Chinese punishment methods from European torture wasn't degree but precision. Where European executioners improvised, Chinese executioners followed manuals passed down through generations, each technique refined through careful observation and documentation. If you find yourself drawn to these hidden corners of history, to the dark truths that textbooks often leave out, consider subscribing to this channel. These stories need to be told, not to glorify suffering, but to understand the depths of what human systems are capable of when power goes unchecked. Hit that like button if you want to see more content that explores the uncomfortable realities of our past. The man who invented China's systematic punishment framework was named Li Si, and in 208 BCE, he is about to experience his own creation in its entirety. Li Si stands in the execution ground, the second most powerful man in China, just 3 days ago, now waiting to receive the 5 punishments he personally designed. The executioner's needle enters his forehead at a 45-degree angle, exactly as Li Si specified in his own legal code, the precise angle engineered to ensure maximum scarring. The ink is mixed with human bile, Li Si's own innovation, to prevent the tattoo from healing cleanly. His 8-year-old grandson watches from the crowd, too young to understand that he is watching his family name being destroyed. The boy will grow up to hang himself rather than live with the shame, becoming just another casualty of a system designed to punish beyond the individual. 3 days ago, Li Si could order anyone's death with a signature. He wrote laws that turned justice into geometry, calculating exact angles for mutilation, precise depths for cuts, optimal temperatures for branding irons. The executioner now heating the brand is following Li Si's own manual, page 47, section 3. The iron must glow orange, not red. Red is too hot and kills nerves too quickly. Orange maintains pain while preventing fatal shock. Li Si wrote this after experimenting on prisoners, documenting their reactions, refining his techniques. Now he is learning exactly how accurate his research was. In the crowd, a cloth merchant named Zhang watches with satisfaction. His son was branded last month for stealing bread during a famine. the boy's face still weeping infection through the character for thief. Zhang paid 3 months' earnings to be here today, to watch the author of his son's suffering experience his own prescription for justice. The nose removal comes next, cut upward at 30 degrees to preserve breathing while maximizing disfigurement. The foot amputation requires different tools, a softer bone, heated blades for sealing vessels, and bronze tubes to maintain blood flow during the cutting. Li Si invented those tubes after too many criminals died from shock before completing their sentences. He wanted them to survive, to live as walking warnings of imperial power. The tubes worked perfectly. He is about to learn just how well. Between each mutilation, the executioner reads from Li Si's own legal code. The criminal shall remain conscious throughout. Unconsciousness indicates improper technique. Li Si specified that victims must be revived if they faint. He has fainted 3 times already. Each time, cold water mixed with vinegar brings him back, his own formula for maintaining awareness through unbearable pain. The moment of Li Si's death is almost anticlimactic. No final words, no dramatic gesture. Just a man becoming meat according to specifications he wrote. His body opened according to procedures he perfected. But Li Si's system survives him. The 5 punishments will continue for 2 millennia after his death. Millions will suffer through the procedures he codified. Faces tattooed, noses removed, feet amputated, bodies destroyed according to precise bureaucratic specifications. 300 years after Li Si's execution, one of his own descendants will receive the same punishments for the crime of quoting his ancestor's writings, the system consuming its creator's bloodline generation after generation. The true horror of ancient Chinese punishment methods wasn't just the physical suffering they inflicted. It was the way they transformed cruelty into procedure, agony into bureaucracy, death into documentation. They created systems that outlived dynasties, that survived regime changes and philosophical revolutions, because they were written into law, taught as technique, perfected as craft. The executioners were artists of suffering, their skills passed from father to son, their methods refined across centuries. And perhaps most disturbing of all, these systems convinced entire societies that such precision in punishment was necessary for order, that calculating the exact angle to maximize pain was somehow justice. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Could any society today develop systems this methodical, this precise in their cruelty, or has something fundamental changed in human civilization? What separates organized institutional violence from what we consider justice?